It does seem that West Virginia receives little good in providing students with a promised scholarship who then leave the state for employment elsewhere. Should the state alter the promised scholarship program to become a no or low interest loan, which is forgivable when a student remains within West Virginia to pursue a career? And are there possible tax incentives the state could offer West Virginia businesses who hire promised scholarship recipients?
The promise program costs the state of West Virginia about $42 million a year. And as I said earlier, what happens is students graduate and they leave West Virginia because there are not jobs here. If I understand the question, should we give tax incentives or
are there tax incentives the state can offer West Virginia businesses?
Well, the other part I wanted to cover is the governor last year, I think, came up with this idea of servitude, where a student would get a promise program from West Virginia and they would have to stay here. That, to me, is ridiculous. I mean, you give a kid a college scholarship, but any time he has to stay here where there's no jobs. It makes no sense at all. So again, we have to create the jobs that the kids will stay here. Tax incentives, maybe when they come back you can give them tax incentives, but the scholarship program, some say we'd be better off without it totally. I don't think that's true. The education of the children is always important, but just to take what we have and tell kids you have to stay here and you have to do this and you have to do that, that's not what education is about. We have to develop, again, it all goes back to jobs and the type of state we live in. There are no jobs there. We got to be honest about that. We got to face up to it, and we got to create something for these children. That's the basic problem. I mean, you can fund all this stuff back to the fact there's nothing here to do.
The promise in scholarship is sort of troubling in that we are training many of our young people who are leaving the state. We're sending highly qualified young people to other states after training them here in West Virginia through the promise. I have a little bit of a dilemma about directly making a promise into a loan program. I think there are loan programs available, and I think we should make those more available, but I do think we should make some contingencies on the loan programs that are out there, that you get a certain percent of that loan forgiven for each year you teach or work in the community in West Virginia or Ohio County. I think that's very important that we do that. Also, I think we should look at opportunities to offer tax credit to businesses who hire West Virginia trained students so that we get this talent pool back into our area. And I think this is going to help to drive our economy. Anything I've ever read about businesses coming into a community indicates that the first thing that they look at is the education in the community, education systems, the quality of education. So that is the key to bringing economic development back into our area.
I've heard talk about tax incentives, and I do agree with that. I think that's an excellent way to go. But I'm going to refer back to me because I know you best. My education, for the most part, is through my life experiences. And I know that when I came out of high school, job opportunities were plentiful. Some of you folks may remember that. That doesn't happen anymore. You can't come out of high school and get the jobs that I was able to do. From the coal mines, to the steel mills, to the toy plant. I actually worked in the toy plant. I mean, these jobs are gone. So now it takes the educational process to get us into those types of jobs. We made a commitment as a society in West Virginia to give an education of kindergarten through 12th grade, because that's all it took to get into the jobs at that period of time. That isn't the way it is today. We've got to make a full commitment to education, not only in the state of West Virginia, but I believe in this country, to educate the citizens of the state of West Virginia so that they can get the jobs that was available to me with a simple high school degree. And if that takes technical training, if that takes college training, whatever type of training that takes, we as a society and as the government need to provide that. And I truly believe.
I'm looking out here and I really do thank you all for coming tonight. But what's going on here, this place should be filled up tonight with people wanting to know about government. It should be packed. People should be saying, I'm fed up with what's going on and I want things changed. But instead, people are apathetic. They stay home and they think, I can't do anything. I can't change anything. I have a lunch every day with a group of guys, and we sit and talk to these guys, and we might as well go and die because they just can't do anything. So we have to get involved back in government. I wonder if I get down to Charles, look, I'm not going to promise you miracles or anything else, but what I would like to do is I would like to see the state of West Virginia start publishing. I mean, the newspapers and the television start publishing every week what goes on in Charleston. Who votes for what? Who votes against? What's going on? Who killed this bill? Who introduced this bill? So that the people back here would know. And then you would know who to vote for. Now we hear all these various things that we've done. I mean, if to create a job, some guy happened to come in here and open a store, every politician runs up this credit for it. We got to get serious about government. We got to get serious with West Virginia. Mark, I want to thank you and group for holding this meeting tonight. I want to thank you folks for coming. And I hope you spread the word. We've got to get involved in government. Thank you very much.
I think it is very important that as you go to vote, that you consider the Northern Panhandle legislative team. We work very well together. We work both sides of the aisle, Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter. And we have this history of doing that. That is very important for bringing the resources from the state back to our area. You also need to look for people who have a vision and a commitment to our community. I think I'm that person. As I said before, one of the first to take some risk in supporting the so-called dog pile on the hill that some of the local DJs were calling it. But when I went up on top of that hill and saw that flat land up there, I thought, why has this, in the interstate, with 40,000 cars running by it every hour, I thought, why have we not considered developing this area? And it's gone way beyond anything I ever imagined. But I'll tell you this, when we first proposed this for the state, we had proposed a 5-lane interchange. Guess what they're talking about now? It's 3 lanes, and they're trying to figure out a way to build 2 more lanes into that. But we've got to bring downtown Wheeling back to make this community complete. And I think if we focus on entertainment and education with 4 colleges in the area, we can bring Wheeling and Ohio County back. Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity.
I can't thank you enough for having a forum. I appreciate everybody who's attended. It shows that you care, and that means a lot to those of us that put our name out and ask for your vote. I thank Coach City, and I thank the leading newspapers also for putting this on. I want to let everybody know where I stand on the big issues, and what I mean by the big issues is obviously abortion and guns in West Virginia. These are the 2 top things that most get asked about. When it comes to guns, my wife and I both enjoy the sport. We both own guns. I get an A rating from the NRA. I'm proud of that. I tell everybody I get an A+, but I'm a Democrat, so I get an A. Having said that, the abortion issue, when people ask me about that, I'm Jesus Christ pro-life. And what I mean about that is I'm not just pro-fetus. I don't believe in capital punishment. I don't believe in euthanasia. I don't believe in assisted suicide, and I do not believe in abortion. I believe in the teachings of Jesus Christ when it comes to those issues. Talking about seniors, I'm all about protecting them. Education, we hit on, that's a big thing of mine as well. The roads and the infrastructure in the state of West Virginia are in bad and horrible shape. We need to figure out legislation, how we're going to get monies. This gas tax dollars aren't getting it done. So we're going to have to spend the next couple of years trying to figure out how we can keep our roads safe and our bridges so that people can travel on them. And I have strong positions on a lot of issues, and I am always willing to do what's right for the state of West Virginia, no matter what those strong positions are. My name is Wolfie Klumper. I'm running for re-election to the House of Delegates, and I would be honored if you would. Thank you.